a defeated Jan Nepomniachtchi looks at the camera as Ding Liren sits with his head down. A few moves are played before Jan eventually resigns, and Ding Liren is the world champion. But to better understand how this all happened, we need to go back in time.
He is the world chess champion!
The rook, then black just has e2, e1 in 2 moves. He's going to queen, so there's nothing much left here. King c5 played by Gukesh, and Hikaru, being the pragmatic player that he is, goes to rook e4 and now just takes the pawn. You can see Pragnananda in the background. Bishop takes, and it's the historic moment. The game ends in a draw, and Gukesh keeps his sole lead intact. Later in the day, the game between Jan and Fabiano ended in a draw, which meant that this became the most crucial game of Gukesh's career. With this victory, he's made it to the World Championship match against Ding Liren, which is a huge result for Indian chess. Gukesh becomes the second ever player after Vishy Anand, second ever Indian to play the World Championship match now later in November. But also Gukesh is the youngest ever to win the candidates at the age of 17, surpassing the achievement of Garry Kasparov at the age of 20. And who knows, if he wins the World Championship match in November, he will become the youngest world champion.
And you're watching this now before the candidates, but it also could be now end of 2024, maybe 2025. And Gukesh very well could be the world champion. And it all started here in 2019 when he played his future coach in a chess game. So
India has really been enjoying the kind of success that is coming in chess, both from the men's as well as the women's team. But they're also looking forward to the World Championship. Gukesh would be participating. Ding did not play this time around in the Chess Olympiad versus Gukesh. How do you see that matchup? How do you think is coming along? Everyone's picking Gukesh as the favorite already.
Yeah, my answer is no different. I think it will be a massacre. Gukesh is I think it will end in less than 14 games for sure.
World Championship is a little over a month away. If you have to pick between Ding and Gukesh, who is the pick?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times already, both here and on streams and everything else. I mean, unless Ding has a way to suddenly reverse, basically, I would say have basically short-term memory loss, where everything that's happened over the last year goes out of his mind, and he's able to play great chess as well. It's just, I don't see it being a close match. I think that all the signs point to a clear and dominating Gukesh victory. First of all, he's been playing much better chess over the last year and a half. Secondly, he's much younger, so he is still improving. He has not peaked in terms of the level that his chess can get to. And then third, just look at Ding's games. I think specifically I would look at the game against Lequang Liam, because in that game he had a marginal advantage. I think like 0.3, 0.4 was an end game. Those are the sorts of games in a world championship match you're going to have to win. You're going to have to grind those games out like Magnus has done many times. And not only did he not grind out, he then went from better to equal to a very slightly worse end game. And obviously in a world championship match where everybody's super well prepared, you're probably going to get these positions where you're slightly worse. And then he didn't defend that either. So he didn't convert the small advantage. Then he turned it into a slightly worse end game, which he should have defended, but he even lost that. So just to me, I just don't see any world where Gukesh doesn't win, unless Ding is able to say draw the first 4 or 5 games, and we get to a moment where if he gets like one great game in the middle and he wins, then of course he could win the match. But overall, I would say it's probably 80-20. That's my prediction in favor of Gukesh.
Between Gukesh and Ding.
Yeah. So probably this tournament. I mean, in retrospect, like probably this tournament will, give Ding a little bit more confidence, because Gukesh has been quite vulnerable in a few games here, while in the Olympiad he was, well, not vulnerable. He was just dominant. So, I obviously Gukesh is a significant favorite as it goes, but I think this is one of those matches where if Gukesh strikes first, he will win the match without any trouble, and the longer it goes without the first decisive game, the better it is for Ding, because he has the ability, but he doesn't have confidence, and anything that can potentially give him that confidence will make it more likely that he can actually win the match.
Right, right.